If you've got something very slow, or if you've got something that's very sped up and you slow it down, it sounds like a complete disaster. These two recordings that they presented were not related in any way, because we did the speeding up and slowing down ourselves, and we could see that they were not in any way related. But yeah, in fact, it's impossible. Any of you that knows anything about digital recording gets bits of information. Now, if this was analog, that would be a different story, but it was digital.
In fact, he insists on using MP3s because of the quality.
Right.
Now, it's kind of interesting because this has worked its way into his standard EVP work now, and in his last lecture that we went to, he's now claiming to get ghost voices like this that not only have to be sped up, but they have to be reversed. So, think about this. Let's throw the Occam's razor in it. How simple is it for somebody, look, we're taking a lot of assumptions here, to have died, crossed over, learned how to speak slow and backwards on some sort of a magnetic medium that only a handful of people have? Statistically, I don't think that's a really good deal.
Well, it used to be that if the dead wanted to communicate with you, you either got whacked out on some peyote, you had a really good dream, or you had some hypnosis or something. I mean, things like this. But the messages that we got were clear. They were not distorted and hard to understand. I would say that the message itself may have been hard to comprehend, but when you get to, you couldn't understand any words there on that slow thing. But when the ghosts supposedly used to communicate to us through dreams, well, that seemed to be perfect. They could tell us exactly what they wanted. We'd wake up and go, revelation.
But
now I know why heartbeats are. What's that?
I said, but a third party can't charge you.
Well, that's true. Yeah, unless they're the ones selling the peyote or doing the hypnosis. But so it doesn't make sense that if ghosts were to exist, why would they suddenly change the way they communicate to something so much worse? It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
And this is one of those really weird cases that I hate to point out, where if we take a look at the example of what's being used now compared to one of the ones, let's say psychics doing some sort of mediumship, this is the one time that the mediums actually make more sense. It's a really unique situation. Not that they actually make any sense, but on
This would be the one time if you had to judge, which one is more plausible. A psychic is actually more plausible than the telephone to the dead.
But regardless of what psychological damage or what monetary dent may be made, they always fall back on this: entertainment purposes only. So when you're trying to talk to your dead loved one and having all of these problems, remember,
It's all in good fun.
It's all in good fun. So just one of the things that we're trying to show some critical thinking behind some of these nonsensical claims that are out here.
Now, do we have any questions on that so far before we shift gears? I don't want you to have to try to remember things later. No? We're good? Any questions on anything, my outfit, or? Yes?
How'd you get the video of the christening thing?
YouTube.
So he put that up
He
on
posted
purpose?
it up,
He was
yes.
proud of that?
Yes.
That's sick.
Yeah, very proud, and which is funny. I mean, anytime you take anything that these guys put up that they're very proud of, and you add a different perspective to it, suddenly they're feeling that you're taking it out of context. So, or editing.
And they said that you guys had edited it or taken it out of context when they put it up on YouTube as it is.
Yes.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yes. Anything else? All right. Stanley Hotel. Now, pretty much everybody knows about Stanley Hotel, right? How many saw the Ghost Hunters episode, the first one, the end of season 2, where they made their first trip to the Stanley Hotel? A few of you? Just if it rings any bells.
You can admit it, it's okay.
Jason had a mysterious thing in room 401 where a glass broke and the closet door opened and closed. Grant had a very bizarre happening of this heavy oak table jumping as he was changing a videotape in his camera. That's really what we're going to get to, because this is the main ghost of the Stanley Hotel. Over in the Manor House, this guy comes in through the window, sits on the couch, and scares the crap out of everybody.
I've heard grown men scream because they see glowing eyes coming from the couch. It's great. I guess we have to go with Tap's explanation, right? Yeah.
Okay. So are you talking about their
fines?
Their fines. Okay. At the end of the Ghost Hunter shows, they have their reveal, where they sit down with the owners of the place or the people that are running the place, and they tell them about all the incredible amount of research they've done and what they've found. So here's the reveal of the Stanley Hotel.
Remember, this is why the place is haunted.
We did a lot of research on the Stanley Hotel. One thing we did find is that the mountain it's built on actually contains a lot of quartz stone. And one of the theories that we've been working with for a long time is residual hauntings. They seem to have a lot of quartz and limestone deposits within the area of.
Okay, quartz and limestone. I actually like to say quartz, limestone, and magnetite. Now, while we can't prove...
Well, let's bring to light first the fact that the first thing out of his mouth is, we did a lot of research.
Yeah, the lot of research that they did, it involved them going down to the gift shop and asking them, so why is the place haunted? That's their lot of research. The guy behind the counter at the gift shop told them that there was all of these deposits of minerals underneath the property, and that's what was causing the haunting.
Now, just in case you're wondering, we actually know Jason and Grant, and we got a lot of this information firsthand from them. You know, in conversations with them, they admit, oh yeah, you know, we went down, we did this, and this is what happened with this. And so we've got firsthand information from them on how things kind of went down. Needless to say, they don't like us anymore, but
Really?
because we've taken it and run. So.
Well, while we can look at their claims of this is causing the haunting, we can't, beyond a shadow of a doubt, prove that these minerals don't cause a haunting. But can we take a look and see if these minerals actually exist at the property? Probably would make sense. Well, we got called up to do a documentary. And since we're the paranormal research team, we got to be their ghost hunters. Little did they know. And we discovered, just as the production was about to come out, that this is now entitled The Stanley Effect, a piezoelectric nightmare, based on these theories of these minerals underneath the property. That's enough to get us angry because we didn't like this story to start with, and now we're involved in a documentary. So how do we do our research?
Well, we thought, let's find out if there's ever been a soil sample done at the Stanley Hotel. Because the first thing we did is we actually called around. Where did you get this information? Well, didn't you watch Ghost Hunters at night? Other people were like, well, yeah, we asked the front desk when we were there. We're not getting any really good concrete explanations on why people are spreading this rumor. So what we did is we got a hold of the U.S. government. And we thought, you know, who better to ask? What was it, the USDA?
U.S. Department of Agriculture. Didn't make sense to me. I figured it'd be USGS, but the Department of Agriculture is actually in charge of soil surveys. And I told them, I was honest. I said, this is the story. Supposedly this place is haunted because of this supposed mineral deposit. Well, by the time the email got back to me, it had been bounced around every department of government apparently, and it was now entitled Ghosts in Our Soils. But the answer from them was, we don't know what's underneath the Stanley Hotel. We've never done a soil survey there. The closest that they'd ever done was about 10 miles away. If you know anything about geological surveys, 10 miles away, they might as well have been doing it in Canada. So they did have a geomagnetic satellite survey, which they gave to us, and it showed absolutely nothing out of the ordinary.
No variations across the entire state of Colorado.
Yeah, it was just a flat line across the state. At that point, we thought we'd won. So we started telling everybody to quit spreading these stupid stories that you have because we don't know what's underneath the hotel. Well, about a month later, I get a call back from the feds, and they say, you know, we've never completed a study up there, but we'd like to, because it's one of the few blank areas that we have in the country. Do you think you could get us in?
Why, of course, U.S. government. We'll get you into the Stanley.
Exactly.
The paranormal team.
So for 2 days, us and 4 branches of the U.S. government actually looked into the claims of these minerals underneath the property. It was really cool. We got to be scientists. They brought in ground-penetrating radar, electromagnetic induction, guys digging in the dirt, and we did the Stanley property, a couple of adjoining properties. We learned a lot. They got to play Ghostbuster. But in the long run, probably the coolest part of it was our names on a federal report that was positive.
For a change.
But take a guess what they found underneath the property.
Dirt.
Dirt.
Dirt and bedrock. And, well, the dirt was actually, as most dirt is, a combination of a bunch of crushed minerals. Quartz, magnetite, and limestone were among those. But it's a very common type of dirt they call schist. No big deal. And one of the funny things is we took these, all these soil scientists on the tour that they have there at the Stanley. And they didn't really seem to care about anything until we got underneath in the tunnel. And how many have been up to the Stanley and been in the tunnel? Okay, well, those of you that have been there have probably recognized that it's mostly dirt that they've dug into. You can see even tree roots and stuff here and there. But these soil scientists were this far from the wall, just staring. And they were amazed with getting to see the soil, you know, in this particular state.
And completely ignoring the ghost stories at that point.
Yeah, but the funny thing is they determined that there just is no substantial limestone there. There's no substantial quartz, and there's no substantial magnetite. So that whole theory, you know, for there to be a piezoelectric effect, you need a substantial piece that's, you can put enough pressure on that's actually going to generate the heat or the electricity to call it a piezoelectric effect. And there just isn't that there. So we got this report, as you saw, and we spread it around the paranormal community. We sent it out to Jason Grant, who we got no answer from. We sent it to
I
every
handed it
paranormal-
personally to Jason.
and to the people up at the Stanley Hotel.
I went down to their little tour office that they have with many copies, and I handed it to them, and I said, read this, quit spreading the stupid stories. You can talk ghost stories all you want, we can't so far disprove all of those yet, but we know that this isn't the truth.
So, it was right around Halloween, Ghost Adventures had a live broadcast from, no, it wasn't live, it was just a show of them up at the Stanley Hotel. I don't know how many people saw that. How many people watch Ghost Adventures in here? Oh, that's such a beautiful number to see.
Most of our crowds are usually like,
Yeah, there's a lot of people like Ghost Adventures. Zach is such a hunk. But just need some help with his hair. The thing is right, you know, we let everybody up there know what the deal was. And of course, this is what Ghost Adventures has to say.
well, let me interject here. This, because you haven't seen the show, thankfully, is one of the Ghost Adventures, the lead caveman that they have running the show. We're questioning if he can actually form a sentence without a cue card. Okay, coerce through a cue card. But with him is the Stanley Hotel's paranormal expert. So you'd figure she's probably seen our report, one would hope. But here's the conversation that went on television.
Like freaking giants? What kind of rock is this?
Quartz and limestone.
Now, quartz and limestone are said to be very good conductors of energy. Do you think that this lends to any of the activity here at the Stanley Hotel to help amplify the energy that spirits need to manifest themselves?
Definitely. Most often when you find a location that has a high level of haunting activity, you're going to find either limestone
Flowing
or
water.
quartz somewhere in the area.
Some natural geomagnetic conductor.
And we have both right here under the hotel.
Why do we try?